Welcome to the latest and sadly the last video for Animal Artists Collective. The Animal Artists Collective was founded to provide a platform for emerging artists to promote positive messages for animal welfare and conservation and connect artists to their communities. The original artwork produced for the Animal Artists Collective is always made available for sale, and at least 50% of the proceeds are donated for a non-profit animal conservation organisation. This month, all the artists who are creating videos for the Animal Artists Collective are donating proceeds from the sale of their pieces to the bushfire crisis in Australia. We've all chosen an Australian animal to create a piece from, and my chosen animal, well, my chosen bird, was the rainbow lorikeet. One of the main reasons for choosing the lorikeet was because of the bright colours. I don't usually get to draw animals with bright colours, and this bird certainly has got a huge amount of those gorgeous blues and greens and purples and reds. So it really was quite an exciting thought to be drawing something, but also really very sad because obviously the animals in Australia have been devastated by the fires. I decided to draw the bird on Grafix Drafting Film. Really lovely surface to work on, very smooth, but it takes a lot of layers of pencil and the colours are really vibrant. I used a combination of Faber Castell Polychromos, Caran Luminance, some Derwent Drawings and also Caran Pablos. I was opting for the bright colours mainly, but also the feel of the pencil on the paper, and there are a lot of dark areas within the feathers that I really wanted to get that contrast, so the Derwent Drawing Black was ideal for that. As always with my coloured pencil work, I work with layers, so I tend to put down a very light layer to begin with, plotting out maybe some of the dark areas. You'll see a little bit further on where I plot out some of the feathers, building the colours on top of each other. So for my oranges, putting yellows down first and then reds, or vice versa, reds down then yellows. As with a lot of my coloured pencil work, I also incorporate the use of the slice tool, the ceramic bladed craft knife. The one I tend to use is the manual pen cutter, and it's fantastic for creating texture. You can see on this piece here where I've created some of the feather lines. It really is a really superb tool for creating the texture and everything in fur and in feathers. The drafting film actually, it takes a surprising number of layers. If you're careful, you can get up to 15 layers, maybe even 20 layers. It's about a soft touch, really nice soft pressure, planning your colours, planning your shapes, working out where things need to go, sort of plotting colours and then working from there. But the other really brilliant thing about the drafting film is that you can use the knife on it very easily, but you can also use an eraser very effectively. So you can put your colour down and then lift out some of the texture with a Tombow mono eraser, maybe the Faber Castell Perfection pink-ended eraser. It really is a very versatile surface. The Derwent Drawing Ivory Black that I'm using here is the most brilliant black. It's a real black. It's soft, so the pigment goes on really beautifully on the film. It just sort of flows onto the film. It's soft and it's got a thick lead, but actually you can get some really fine detail on there. Well worth investing in the Derwent Drawings. Absolutely, they're beautiful pencils, especially on the film. The Faber Castell Perfection Pink Pencil Eraser is another really good investment, I think. Well, investment, they're not particularly expensive, but they're really good on the drafting film. And they don't tend to leave little bits of pigment stuck to the film. You know, that I really like to use them in conjunction with the slice and the Tombow. So here, just building up my shapes, picking out the colours that I can see in the feathers, just putting them in, gently, light pressure, and then bringing the darks in and starting to sort of build the shapes of the feathers in a little bit more. What I've tried to do is use complementary colours as much as I can as well. So where I've got my reds, I'll put some greens in for the darker shadows, which really helps. And with my greens, I'll use reds and violets as well. You can see here starting to build up the texture on the back of the parrot. So you put your I guess base layers in first, very gently, and then start to build up your details gently over the top of that. You can see I've plotted out some of the shapes of the feathers here. When I did my outline, I never do a very good job of my outline, so I had to work quite hard to get all of these shapes in the right place. And actually, as I got through the bird, as I progressed through it, creating these shapes first was a better bet for me. I didn't want it to be sort of like a colour by numbers exercise, you know, sort of like, or a colouring book exercise, you know, but actually having those shapes in there was really helpful, and plotting in the colour in a sort of quite a big section, again, that was quite useful as well, and then going in and starting to darken them and add the layers and all of that type of thing just really helped. Here you can see the green going on. I think this is grass green, the Luminance grass green going on here, and it does go on absolutely beautifully. I mean, it's so smooth, it's so lovely. And it's a fantastic colour as well. It's not often that I get to use bright greens, so it was a real treat for me. You can see here the use of the Tombow and then the slice again to get the highlights and everything in the feathers. So when you're using the slice, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have sharp lines. You can actually take out large areas of pigment quite smoothly. You just tip it on its side and scrape the pigment away, and it works beautifully on the drafting film. This is the royal blue Pablo that I'm using here, and the Pablos again work very nicely on the drafting film. This royal blue is more like a violet-y purple, so again was a very nice colour to use with the green. Not quite complementary because it's not quite opposite, but you can see how you know, it does work ever so nice. And then we move back onto sort of like the cobalt blues and back into the green here, and just, you know, picking out the different colours, the brighter colours or the more dense colours, you know, using reds over pinks to kind of pull those colours right out to make them really stand out, and using a little bit more pressure in there as well to get the density of the colour. So I'd just like to take the opportunity of thanking Denise and Jennifer for creating such a fabulous collaboration of artists around the world, you know, raising money for such fantastic causes. It's sad that the Animal Artists Collective is not going to be happening anymore, you know, but you can still see all of the information about it, all of the resources and everything is in the description in the video. So I'll leave you to watch the rest of the creation of this lovely Lorikeet. If you fancy having a go at drawing it, I have him available as a full tutorial over on my Patreon channel. It's real time, there's no time lapse, it's all voiced over, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and again a huge thank you to Animal Artists Collective and all the artists involved. It's been a really wonderful group of artists to be involved with.